Another day, another time. We on the grind. Welcome back, Thoughts. Today we're going to be talking about this Jay Swindler and Nick LeMayo event that took place. There's only a couple of fights I really want to talk about, right? And yeah, we're just going to get into that. Like, there were some really good fights. There were some really weird, questionable decisions, and that's what we're really going to get into. Like, I'm really upset. I was ranting on Twitter for a very long time. So yeah, we're going to get into that. Hope everyone's having an amazing Saturday. And let's get into the video.
I got all the keys. Hey, hey.
All right. Much better. All right. I had to comb my hair, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, anyways, so I had to, make sure my hair was a little more presentable. You know, my mom calls me Wolfman Jack. So yeah, anyways. All right, so back to this fight. We're going to be talking about this Jay Swindler thing. I pretty much want to talk about the Jay Swindler fight itself, because the rest of the fights, I'm not even going to cap. I didn't really see the first couple ones just because, like, I wasn't going to watch the event, and then I ended up finding a way to watch the event, and I ended up watching the last couple fights. But yeah, King Kenny lost, which is surprising. I'll probably react to that footage or something later, and then probably like tweet my thoughts. Follow me on Twitter if you want to. But yeah, man, like the Jay Swindler fight, man. I just want to talk about the state of boxing, right? Because when it comes to that, right, this is one of the issues that come with boxing, right? And it's like, of course, you're gonna have people divided. Of course, you're gonna have, people say that, Swindler should have won X, Y, and Z, right? All bias aside, right? Look at the facts between the fighters. Jay Swindler has been training for 5 years. He's been boxing for 5 years, my guy. Nick LeMayo started boxing 6 months ago. So again, we're comparing 6 months of boxing training to 5 years of boxing training. So I think it's inexcusable that Jay Swindler threw and landed less punches than Nick LeMayo did. Yes. Oh, Jay Swindler's the shorter fighter, so he had to come in. Yes, Jay Swindler's the aggressor the whole time. So of course, hey, he deserves brownie points for that too. That is all fine and dandy, but when we're looking at the aspects of boxing itself, which is literally throwing punches and landing punches, he threw and landed less punches than his opponent that had not half, we're talking less than a quarter of the amount of boxing training he had. That's inexcusable. That is not, and on top of that, they're going to rule a unanimous decision. Unanimous. What are we all watching here? Bro, we're talking, Buddy looked insanely good. He looked insanely good. He was landing back shots. He was slipping. I'm going to take that out. Okay, let me throw that back. He was landing shots off the back foot. He was slipping shots. He was throwing more jabs. He was being the more pretty much busy fighter, I felt like. He was dancing around Jay the whole time. The only rounds I will give Jay is, if you want to argue, maybe the third and fourth when he started to tire out. I will say that Swindler had a way better conditioning and way better stamina, even though he did gas out in the fourth round too. So it's like, again, like, I don't know if, like, again, I'm not a judge, right? And it's like, I get it. Like, I never will be one because, again, like, I think there's just too much in store on those closed scenes, like behind doors, you know what I mean, for things to happen. Like, I'm pretty sure at some point, like, I'm not going to say they tell the fighters this, they probably tell the manager, like, oh, pretty much just don't get knocked out. Like, they probably tell the manager that, like, just let him, just make sure he knows he just doesn't need to get knocked out. Because, again, how do you throw less punches and land less punches and still apparently look like the more dominant fighter? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe this is why I play basketball, where it's just definitive. I have more points than you do. You know what I mean? Like, there's no judging involved. I have more points than you do. So it's like, I'm gonna box. Don't get me wrong, but again, that's just, bruh. Like, this is why I think when I come in, I'm gonna take a different approach to boxing because I'm going in with the full-fledged intensity is that person's gonna knock me out or I'm knocking that person out. Like, there's no point in giving it up to the judges because, again, I would be crushed if I'm Nick. I would be so mad. How do I bounce back from this, bro? Like, of course you do it, but like, that shit is that's leaving a scar. That's going to burn, bro. Like, you're telling me I gave out my heart. I didn't get knocked out. We're talking a guy who had 5 years. He pushed for this fight too. He came in as the underdog the whole time. And still, even times where he was being the aggressor, there was times where he was still pushing up. That kid showed so much heart, especially when he was younger, smaller, and less experienced. And then they're going to give it to him? No offense to Jay Swindler, but it's like, bro, you did not put on that dominant of a performance, my guy. Like, you cannot, I'm sure he's happy he got the win or whatever, but me as a boxer, I'm unhappy because, again, if I'm boxing, there needs to be, unless I really feel like, oh man, it was a really good fight and, hey, blah, blah, blah. Because if I'm Jay Swindler, right, I'm be like, bro, I don't agree with that unanimously. And I would make it publicly that I don't agree with that because, again, that was not unanimous. And if he was, I'm going to say a moral person, like, I think he would watch the footage and he should take his pride back and be like, bro, like, yes. Like, there's no way it should be that close with me having 5 years of experience. Like, that just doesn't make sense, my guy. That just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to get that off my chest. You know what I'm saying? Apparently the other fights were good. Apparently the tag team fight was pretty good. Again, King Kenny lost, which is, it's kind of like deserving, I feel like, because again, I disagree with the fact that he won against Face Sensei. I don't think he should have won against Face Sensei. When they fought way back, like, bro, I think, again, like, literally they had a similar match to what it was, but Face Sensei literally rocked King Kitty more times. So that was the deciding factor. I feel like it should have been, and even that one wasn't even unanimous, I don't think. It was still like 2-1, At least I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But regardless, I think that's deserved because, again, I think he got pushed into a competition this time where he fought somebody who, was actually young. Like, Face Sensei was in the back end of his career too. And the last fight he had, I don't know who he fought, but I know it was an easy win. So I think this is the first time he's actually been like pushed because that guy, Ashley or whatever, he's a built guy. So I didn't see the fight really. I don't really know what happened. I just know he lost, and apparently it was like clear, because a lot of people were saying that Kenny needs to improve on some things. So hey, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I hope he comes back to the ring, though, because I do think King Kenny is a great boxer. Don't get me wrong. I just think that this is where, like, low-key the Jake Paul effect now. Like, he's in that kind of same corner. I throw him in that same corner as Jake Paul, where it's like, hey, Jake Paul is going to be on his redemption, like, humble arc now. You know what I'm saying? Now that he has a loss, you know what I'm saying? He has a little bit of humility under his belt where he really can come in now and really start to establish himself more because that pressure doesn't come anymore. You know what I mean? That pressure of like, oh man, what happens if I lose? If the fans still gonna like me or people's gonna buy my event? All those questions go out your head because you already lost one. So now you can relax. You can really stop being the dickhead. Stop focusing on being, I'm the champion. I'm the number one. The Floyd Mayweather thing. And and keep pushing. So man, excited. Good day for boxing. I think in general and all in all, it does suck seeing the fucking judges, man. Those judges. It sucks seeing that. I would have liked to see him at least get one. I would be less swayed of it being rigged if he at least got one judge. But the fact that you're going to tie it and then the other two are just like unanimous, like that is so weird to me. That is so weird to me, bro. It's always so weird how judges can have such different opinions and takes. Like one can be like, oh, this guy got completely obliterated. And the other guy can be like, oh yeah, it was tied. Like, I don't. Like, it's so weird, like, how boxing can be judged when there's so many, like, variables, I guess, right? But whatever, it is what it is. Again, if you are a boxer, this is why you go for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I think you take the influencer boxing route instead of the actual boxing route, because longevity in boxing is not good. You want to get in, have your fun, get to your peak, stay in there for about 5, 6, maybe 7 years, and then get out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put too much on your body. You don't want to put too much strain on your body. And also going for knockouts can also put strain on your hands, and you don't want to, put strain on, again, your body in the long terms of your life in X, Y, and Z. You want to be able to basically get in, do your thing, establish, who you want to be, get to where you feel like you, deserve to be, and then get out. But yeah, until next time, until future me is on the card, I can't really talk again because I have not stepped in the ring myself, but I guarantee I will, 100%. And I cannot wait. But until then, I will see you guys next time. And I'm out.
My name always start with a Z. You're never gonna be like me. I see the enemy, they try to get to me. Stupid like Mr. Clean, I live to infinity. My life is a mystery, they be hiding my history. So much pain, so much misery, and it feels like I'll never be free. Hey, hey, you finna just set us free. Hey, hey, I got all the keys. Hey, hey, that's what he said to me. Anything come on my path, they gon' get done real fast. No, I ain't taking it back. No, you ain't getting the pass. Yeah, yeah. Damn, I just let it be black. Physical component just rap. Rich in the birds and the facts. Come with me, right, get slapped. I finna be
I wanna win, but this shit got no pride. Say you $1 million before you touch the sky. News say killing niggas better stay inside. Million ways to die, only few to fly. None of my niggas tell no lie. None of these bitches be my wife. For that talk, you gon' slide. I mean the bag, real time. Pick it up, flu and kick, shaking up. Yo, main chick, hit me up. Call game, told me splitting up. Crush dreams, low esteem. Told her that money and everything. You base your life on the phone screen. You chasing diamonds and codeine. They do the drugs, escape from it all. Die from the buzz, die from withdrawal. Die from the high, die as you fall. This shit a joke, it ain't funny at all. Don't believe